Owning your gifts. Sometimes our gifts are right in front of us and we're failing to see them. Or sometimes we even forget about how powerful we all are and how amazing we all are and how many gifts we do have. So, welcome to my channel, Own Your Greatness. My name is Melinda Van Fleet. I'm an intuitive and energetic empowerment mentor. And yesterday, I was reminded not only about how I was very good at sales and very good at piecing it all together to create a multi-million-dollar sales business that I had for 12 years, but also that I am a really great teacher in terms of sharing those things and how to look at them with consciousness. And I'm so grateful for the conversation I had yesterday with a beautiful and smart young lady, because it really woke me up. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this whole aspect of my life that I did for 12 years. And if you count even the 16 years of corporate experience prior that really fed in to my desire to become a salesperson, and my sales business is what funded Good Karma Sport Fishing on so many levels, intrinsically and actually in the money. And just such an amazing journey I've had. It's truly unparalleled. And I forget that I can show up and teach that, right? I forget that I can show up and teach that as actual results and evidence. And I'm sharing this with you as well because we, again, forget these things or we're too close to them and we don't see them. So that is consciousness, is having a conversation with somebody over breakfast, like I did yesterday morning, and walking away and going, oh, I totally forgot that I have all this experience and all these results that I'm not doing a good job of showing up and sharing. So this video is impactful on many levels, and I'm really hoping this lands for you. So you end up like going, wow, I don't show up and share something that I'm actually really good at. That's part of my blueprint. That's part of my identity. And I don't need to look at someone else to get any type of validation in terms of understanding what my identity is. Having someone bring it into awareness, like this happened for me yesterday, is amazing. But I don't need to be looking over there to what that person's doing because I have my own gifts. I have my own talents. I have my own results. I just need to figure out how to show up more and stay the course in doing that. So what ended up happening is I will actually share this sales tip with all of you out there, because if you are like me, you are likely an entrepreneur. I also have a business with my husband now for over 13 years that is sport fishing and educational programs. So I have a lot of experience and a lot of evidence. I just don't have like the biggest audience yet. So where I want to go with this is really understanding what your goal and his objective is, and then having a conscious view of the marketplace. Like being very aware as to what's going on out there. I would highly suggest, if you are someone trying to sell something, that if you don't have results behind you to use, that you try your hardest to latch onto something that brings leads. Leads are everything. And that was the piece of the conversation yesterday that I really realized I was intuitively good at figuring out when I was a sales rep. I was very in tune to what the marketplace was doing in terms of density and people being really busy. Like, how was I going to cut through the noise? How was I going to cut through the noise? And my way to cut through the noise was to realize, like in the 3D, what else they were buying. So I was a road rep for 12 years. I sold at one point over 40 lines of products. Things like jewelry, candles, handbags, shoes, home decor, you name it, pretty much anything, a gift shop or a spa or a museum shop. Books was something I sold, lots of books. So anything that would go like in a gift shop, a boutique, a women's boutique, a spa boutique, a museum shop, anything like that, a nursery, I sold pots, like all sorts of things. I sold it. And so what I would do was I would notice, because it's hard to get to the buyer. It was hard to get to the owner. They're busy people. They have lots of people calling them. They only have so many hours in the day, and normally they're exhausted. So I had to think like strategically, like, how do I get my foot in the door for these people, these more leads, more leads, more leads. So I was very focused on leads. How do I get leads? How do I get warm leads? Cold leads are great if they end up working out, but it's often a harder hill to climb. And I knew I needed to earn income to fund our sport fishing business, which was the dream. So the goal and the dream was a sport fishing business. And the vehicle to get there was the sales business in terms of money. And I knew all of this, and this was the master plan, and it worked. It worked. It totally worked. Results, right? So as I've often said in my other videos, you can't go from here to here. You often have to do some things in here. So some of that is internal, a lot of internal, and also external. So I had to figure this out. I had to figure out this puzzle, and I didn't want to waste time in the process because we had to eat, we had to pay rent, we had to do all these things. So what I realized was if I could get the lines of the other things they were already buying, that would get my foot in the door. That would get my foot in the door. And then not only did I have that to sell them that they were already buying, so hi, money in my pocket, but now they were a new client, new customer, and I could get them to buy something else that I was selling that was good for their business. I truly believe that. I truly believe you need to do what's right for their business. So I was an excellent, excellent sales rep in terms of I didn't try to oversell something, and I didn't try to sell them like, ice and they didn't need ice because they live in Alaska. Eskimos don't sell the ice Eskimos, that whole thing. I didn't do that. I was very honest and I operated with integrity. I want to make sure that you know that, because if you are not, you are out of alignment energetically. Very important. So then over time, compounding, watch my compound video. Maybe I'll put that as the next lead in. It compounded really, really well. I did really, really well. Really, really well. It compounded. But it took time. I stayed focused. I stayed the course. All things I talk about. I listened to my intuition on how I should spend my time. Go here, do this, do that, cancel this day, stay home, different things like that. And I was conscious of like everything, of what people bought, of how busy they were. Did they have time to chat? Did I need to be fast? Did I need to dress up more when I went to that store? All the things I was extremely conscious of. I didn't operate from like la la land and not focused. Oh, no. I was very focused and I loved it. I loved every piece. Very important. Very important. I loved it. I loved it. It was easy. It was easy because I loved it and I thrived off that. It was a game for me. It was a game. And then when I cold called, it was a game because I cold called as a game. I played a game. I literally played a game. So that is how you win, not only in sales, but also in life. They run parallel. Everything runs parallel. Again, as I mentioned in my video the other day, we're all mirrors. This is all a big Indra's web. Internet is taken from Indra's web. We're all connected. We're all consciousness. We're all God. We're all energy. We're all the things, right? So when you operate from that stance, from energetic alignment and integrity for the greatest good, helping, I really wanted my stores to be successful. 100%. This is why I didn't sell them anything that wasn't in integrity, because I was like, nope. I want you to like me. I want you to be successful. I want your business to be successful. I want you to grow. Like all those things were from the highest alignment. And those are my gifts. So this transcends into everything, right? This transcends these videos. This transcends to working one-on-one with me. And I feel really called that I had this total idea percolating for something new and exciting that stay tuned. We'll see if they have a separate announcement. But yeah. So leave me a comment, like, subscribe. I would love that. I would love to hear if this resonates. If you would like more things like this that are a little more tactical in terms of having some type of result. If you follow what I said, you might have to rewatch this video again, pick up on all the little codes. But no, all these things just didn't happen overnight. I have 54. I have a lot of experience. So don't put pressure on yourself in the process. That's also why working with a mentor is really good, to keep on track and help with all the little things that are going to bubble up. Again, you don't go from here to here. There's things in the middle. But at least if you pick up on like 2 codes from watching this video and save it to a playlist and watch it again in another month, like kind of work on it, work on all the things I dropped, you will go farther, faster, I promise you. So thanks for watching, melindavanfleet.com, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.